Children talk to their toys often confiding into them. I surely remember my days of like dollhouse making, tea parties and everything. But now we have reached into a stage of technology where these toys can actually listen and remember. And this is a quote from Fisher-Price toys. So the real question lies, are these toys the friends whom we need, or they are slowly turning into the dangerous foes whom we should be scared about? So I will cut back to the chase and I'll say the results of my talk here that many smart toys are insecure and dangerous, but there are ways which we can help with, and we can develop secure technologies, and we can also make the users aware so that they can make smarter decisions. So good evening, everyone. My name is Sanchari Das, and Alex actually did a phenomenal job in pronouncing my Bengali version of it. I'm almost a doctorate from Indiana University, Bloomington, and my research focuses on the user side of privacy and security. The reason why I focus on the human factors is because it is really very critical to build a digitally safe environment. This work has been done in collaboration with several people in our lab, and we are guided by Dr. Jean Camp, whom we heard earlier, and especially our project manager, Joshua Strife, whom you will be seeing and hearing in the demo sessions planned out. So when we talk about risks, the basic concept of it is multivariate, and it can lie from low to high, and it can be in any field, and it is dependent. So when we talk about risks other than cybersecurity, there are ways which we are developing to identify and mitigate them. But when it comes to cybersecurity, it becomes especially challenging because there are several types of invisible risks, and it is all around us. It can be in a public place, it can be a small gathering, it can be in a workplace, and even in your child's bedroom. Isn't it very scary to think like that? But it is true. So we do have tools and risk analysis technologies where we have processes, strategies to combat against them. But often we tell that users are the problem here, they are the weakest link. But the question comes that are we at all giving users the proper information and the tools to combat against these attacks? So what do we tell users? That internet is a big bad world, you have to protect your devices, you have to protect against phishing, and so on. And we complain that they don't follow these. But the question comes that are there any top 10 steps we can do to achieve 100% security? There is none. Because right now we live in a world which is highly interconnected, from phone to refrigerator to washing machine to anything and everything is connected over the internet. That means it is susceptible to digital threats. So right now, a user is told, oh, you have to protect your phone, you have to protect your router, you have to protect your cars, even your toys, which creates an information overload for the users. So who are at fault here? Are they the users, researchers, tool, education, mitigation, or actually it is a combination of all these factors? Let's find out. So yes, our goal is to build tools which are first usable, privacy preserving, and it actually gives a security which we all deserve. Often usability comes like a testing factor rather than the initial analysis of a software or a tool, but that's what we want to change. Especially when it comes to the vulnerable population, our children, who probably do not even have the right to say when their data is out there. For example, somebody gives birth and they are like, oh, my child was born at this date, and even their weight and every other details in social media, and they did not even consent about it. So we have to be more cognizant about this factor so that we can stop news such as this. And I particularly kept the article, which is 2 years old, because this keeps coming up every single year, and even last month when I did a quick search. And we had to stop it. So even after years of, the first article was out there in 2015, if I'm not wrong, about these particular toys, and still now, after 4 or 5 years, it is still going on. So we wanted to find out what exactly is the problem. So first, we investigated CloudPet's toys. It's a very cute unicorn. It's like I have seen and hacked it, and it's really very fun to play around. And it is true that it helps to be in touch with your grandparents. They can talk to you through audio messages. But when you put on the security lenses, what we do find out it has Bluetooth connectivity, and it has a range of 30 to 50 feet. So what it does give you is a 30 to 50 feet range for any attacker to know what your child is doing and even interact with it. So you might think that it should have the basic authentication, right? Now we live in an era of multi-factor authentication, so it should at least have that. But what we found out is there was not even a single password access given. And when we try to connect with these toys, it's literally shouting that, oh, I'm a cloud pet, connect with me. It is not even allowing the users to change the name to any kind of a dummy variable. So here is a demo where we will show that how from a publicly available, very simple code, we could attack these toys.
So this is the Cloud Pet Unicorn. It's a toy designed for parents who are going to be away and who want a method with which they can speak to their child and the child can speak to them. It works that a child, when they want to speak to their parent, simply pushes a paw, heart light indicator comes on, letting you know that it's being recorded, turns off, it gets sent to a phone, the phone sends it across the cloud, out it goes, the other parent gets the message, and then sends a message back, comes back to the toy, and the heart will blink saying a toy is here. Then they push the paw, and the paw delivers a message. Now the problem with the toy is many. First of all, the toy is constantly broadcasting and saying that it's a cloud pet for any Bluetooth scanner to pick up. Bluetooth low energy has a short range, we said before, roughly 30 to 50 feet, but that's enough for me to be able to walk past a house or drive past a house and tell you which room in the house this toy is in, which is a location threat to a child. More so, I am able to use a simple set of Java and go ahead and pair with this device. Once I've paired with it, it'll pick up the characteristics, and once it has the characteristics, then I can begin to rewrite those characteristics and issue commands. So as an example, I can turn that heart light on and make it look like I'm recording when I'm not. Or, because the message, the request to record and the request for the heart light to come on are separate, I can simply start recording without turning the heart light on, and thereby mic your house. I can simply start recording without turning the heart light on, and thereby mic your house. Now that's not the scariest. I could send audio across to the toy, and once I've sent it across, I can indicate that a message has arrived from a parent, and then when the child reaches over to play that, what do they get? Exterminate, annihilate, destroy! Certainly not a message from the parents. Now, while having it yell a Dalek item is kind of funny, it isn't funny if the message were, hey, this is mommy, don't wake up daddy, I came home early, just come outside the house. At which point we have a social attack with a possible child abduction.
So what we see here is definitely a security failure which is happening. But it was not the fault of the users, was it? What we see here is we are providing overpowered technology, which probably it needs, but it is definitely underprotected with no form of authentication done. And even if you pick any other smart toy, there is some form of authentication which you can enter your password in plain text. So they are not even following the basic policies and security out here. So we thought it might be one organization or one company which is doing so. So we tried something else, a reputed brand name, and we kind of explored this toy as well. So what we find here is it has more capability. Now it can understand when you are hugging the toy, it's the friend you need. That means it can understand how far it is, the child is from the toy. It can listen to your child, it can adapt to it. It can do video and audio recording, which it is not saying, but we'll show you how it is done. And it has unlimited Wi-Fi content update. So we were like, let's look into its hardware, right? So it has dual core processor, it has 2-megapixel camera, which is decent enough to probably not give you a very high resolution picture, but it can record, and we will show you how clear it is. When we looked into its software, what we realized was it is nothing but a full-blown Android phone or Android device where you can install any number of applications you want to because it's 32 gigs storage. It can audio record, it can video record, it can even live tweet, and that's what we could do. So we were like, probably it's a very sophisticated attack, right? We are biased in our own expertise. So we went out in several risk awareness programs, and we gave these bears and a little bit of training to K-12 students. And they could literally hack into this bear in like half an hour, even with no prior security training. And that's what we are building for our future. As you can see, there are basic codes which is running at the background. And you can in your house, very comfortable, and you can get recorded. And we could not hear him, but he was just saying that you can go ahead with your regular life.
Frankly, you'd never know the bear has been taken over.
So yeah, that's what we are building for our children nowadays. And as I said, we could literally live tweet this video over Twitter, and that's what can happen if we gift this holiday toy to our kids. So again, what we see here is a trend, right? There are overpowered technology, and we are not being responsible about it to again do a password authentication. And you might feel, okay, it has happened in 2015, so probably they have improved over time. But this particular test was done in 2019. So even after 4 years after the hack was done, we could still find these vulnerabilities. So what we need right now, we have to assess the situation. And yes, we are building new tools and mitigating tools, but we are not improving upon them to understand the current trend. Hackers are not stopping. They are building advanced technology every single minute, and we are stopping once we are done, okay, this is resolved, so let's go with another production. And what we are lacking again is the user side. We are not following the research which is out there for the last 25 somewhat years, and we are not building on those. We are not understanding the risk awareness mental models of our users whom we are targeting, and we also need developers' education. Yes, we know how to build tools, and that's why we are in the technical zone, but we have to also understand the users for whom we are building, and definitely need the tools to protect us. So that's what we did in our research as well. So what we found out during our assessment is the first question: do people at all care? And we collected reviews from Amazon, more or so 1,000 reviews, and we found that only 2% of our parents at all talked about the security breaches, even after this was highly publicized case. The things are a little bit better in Reddit, and probably if I go to other security-focused blog posts, I will find better results. But these are not the only people who are buying the toys. So as a mitigating solution, there was Amazon, who removed and killed off all of its Cloud Pets and Fisher-Price toys, which is a great initiative. You cannot find it there. However, we often forget about the second-hand markets. Now you can buy anything and everything which was ever available from eBay, even Facebook Marketplace, and so on. And when you are buying a second-hand product, you do not even know from whom you are buying really. So it might be a hacker posing as somebody who is selling this item and selling this for your kids. So this is something which I found last weekend, and as you can see, by February 7th, I can get this toy, even for a higher price than it actually was quoted. So we definitely cannot remove and also cannot protect the users from just removing these toys or these tools. This will be available forever, maybe. So as a mitigation factor, what we can really do is understand the users, understand their mental models. And it's not going to be successful all the time. So what we did was, we had this outreach session and we gathered information of our participants, whether they at all look at the privacy and security features of these tools. And the results which we got was not very encouraging. Nobody thought about these tools. Even when we asked about that, then they are like, it's just a toy. Their grandparents gave it to them, so they are happy, we are happy, they enjoy, we can talk to them. And that's what they all worried about. And I'm just thinking probably that's what my parents would have also thought if they had these kind of toys. So what we did was we developed this beta version of this tool which gives them details about the threats which can be possessed in all these devices. They can give in the device name and they can learn about it, right? Again, it's not very greatly designed because we were testing the users. However, what we saw that there was a stark difference. People were getting concerned about the privacy and security features and they wanted to learn more about it. And that's what we want. We are not getting paid to like just prohibit these tools or these technologies. What we want is to give the users the information so that they can take informed decisions. So there lies the question, does simple non-technical education actually works? Are user studies at all worthwhile? Because you have to like set a team, you have to understand the users, there is a lot of work, time, and efforts going on there. But I will leave you to these videos which I'll show, and that's courtesy to my advisor, Dr. Cam, and you can tell me whether it can be effective or not. Sound, please. And it goes for authentication as well. So the question again comes, does simple non-technical education or user studies actually work? And you can give me the answer to that. There is also kind of a hindrance about usability issues, right? And we often come across, okay, we can probably build the tools and they will not adopt. And that has happened to me when I was in the industry, and that has happened to me when I am doing user studies as well. But if people do not care about the risk, why don't we provide the incentives and economics? And we have talked about it in our sessions as well. If they do know about the risk, why don't we talk about, do not know about the risk, why don't we talk about risk communication, but based on their mental models? For example, if you talk to a child about risk of like, oh, it's a hot pan, you will tell in a different way versus if you talk to an adult about any risk. So we have to talk to the users accordingly as well. And if they know and care, probably we have to revisit our designs. Why is it always that usability comes at the end of any technological development? Why doesn't it come from the feasibility analysis? And I have developed this risk reduction-based incentivization model, which has been effective to not just like 20-somewhat people, it has been effective for an organization which had more than 90,000 employees. So these kind of methods are definitely effective and we should work for it. However, yes, the user sides are really cool and I'm a strong advocate for it, but we should also develop tools. What if actually the hack has happened, now your tool is hacked? How should we communicate it to our users? For that, we have developed this network threat detection tool where this tool kind of uses, it's a very cute security turtle. It's in its nascent stage, but it follows the traffic signal signaling where it converts from green light to yellow when somebody is trying to attack, then it converts to red if your toy or any other IoT device is actually attacked. And I would be happy to talk more about it after this presentation. So again, the question is why such robust research is actually needed. We can just develop the tool and it can be out there. We can think about the firewalls, we can think about the networks and everything. We can just provide the authentication. But it is also a fact that there are the users who are using it and they might be creating some problems which we have never thought about. And also that toys are not only the unique tools which are getting hacked. This was another example, a crock pot, where we were able to hack it. And even in our own lab, we were able to manipulate the lightings of our house through this crock pot because it was connected to the same network. And we cannot avoid it. Even if you say, okay, I don't want to have any IoT device, what about you go to Kroger's? Kroger's might not be the one you're going, say suppose Walmart or any other grocery store. You're using their discount coupons, you're using your credit card. So as long as you think that, oh, I will use cash for every other thing, you cannot be protected from these kind of threats. You might use it for your credit cards, but what if you are actually using Fitbits or any other form of connected device in your everyday life? Anything which is connected over Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or it is interconnected to the big bad internet world needs protection, and we have to provide the tools accordingly. So I want to again reiterate that we definitely need the user aspect, the human elements aspect to understand and create robust security technology. And I would be happy to talk more about it further. Thank you so much, and our paper is here if you want to learn more about this research. Thank you.